Do you have odd blocks that are left over from quilts and other projects and they're just sitting in a drawer waiting for you to figure out what to do with them? Well, if you have one that you really like, you might want to make a throw pillow. And today I'm going to show you how to make it. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pajagi, and embroidery. So if you've been quilting for a while, you might have blocks that are left over from projects for different reasons. Maybe it wasn't the exact size that you wanted, so you decided instead of unpicking it, you would just make a new one. It would be faster. Or maybe you tried a color combination and it didn't exactly turn out the way you wanted for a big quilt. Or maybe you just miscounted and ended up making an extra one. Well, if you have odd blocks, you're probably looking for projects to do with them. So today I'm going to show you how to use one of those blocks to make a little cushion. This idea is especially perfect if your block matches the quilt that you made, then your whole room will coordinate. This is a quick and easy project, so grab whatever block you want to use and let's get started. So there are a couple of different ways that you can do this. So I'm going to be talking about all the different options as I'm going through my process. So you can feel free to copy what I'm doing exactly, or you can use one of the options that I talk about. So I'm going to be using this block, and this is a Star in the Log Cabin block. And this block is supposed to be 9.5 inches at this time. It's actually 9.25 inches. So I'm going to be using 9.25 for my measurements. And then you're going to need a pillow. We're making a removable cover that can go on and off a pillow. And so you have a couple of options here. You can either just buy a pillow form or use a pillow that you already have to make a cover, or you can actually custom make your pillow. So I'm not going to explain how to custom make this pillow, but it's a pretty easy thing to do. And if you custom make it, you can make it to whatever size you want. But I'm using this one, and this one I've measured. It is 13 inches. It's a 13-inch pillow. And so that means this block is going to need a bit of a border. Obviously, it's too small to use just this. So we're going to need to do a little bit of math to figure out what size border to put on. Now, when I'm making a pillow, so this one is 13 inches square. If I was making a cover for this, I would make the cover 13 inches square. I wouldn't make it 13 and a half to have seam allowances in. And that's because I think having it a tight fit gives it a really full, firm look. And so I make it so that my cover is actually a tiny bit smaller than the pillow itself. But if you prefer it to be looser, then you can for sure use that in your calculations. So I'm going to aim for something that my piece is about 13 inches square, even with the seam allowances in it. So this one is 9.25. So if I add 4 to 9.25, that will give me 13.25. So 13.25, that's going to be close enough to 13 inches. And so it'll give me a tiny bit of seam allowance around the edge. So to add 4 inches, then that means I'm going to have 2 inches on each side. So I'm going to cut 2.5-inch strips because we do still have our seam allowance in this part. So I have 2.5-inch strips cut out, and I'm going to cut them. 2 of them are going to be 2.5 inches by 9.25 inches. Those are going to go on the sides, so I will add those to the sides. And then the other pieces, I haven't cut these yet. I'm going to wait until I sew these on, and then I'm going to measure how long this is, and then I will cut this 2.5-inch strip so that it's exact length. Because we're only working with one block. If you're making a quilt with a lot of blocks and you need consistency and something's a little bit off, you do sometimes need to fudge things a little bit to get everything to line up. But in this case, we're only working with one block. So having an exact seam allowance isn't as important, because once we've sewn it, then we'll just measure what we have. So if our seam allowances are a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, then we can easily factor for that when we cut our next piece. So I'm going to sew this on and then measure how long it is. So now that I've added the borders onto the sides of the block, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to double check. So yes, it is 13¼ inches long. So I'm going to cut my next strips 13¼ and then I'll add one of those onto the top and to the bottom. So here's what my piece looks like, and I've just added a simple border to get to the size that I want. But of course you can be really creative in this part. If you have another idea for some way to make your block bigger, then go ahead and do that. You can add multiple borders. You could put multiple blocks together. You could put cornerstones. You could do a lot of different things. So have fun just playing with the scraps that you have in the block and seeing what you can come up with. But now I have this piece, and this is 13¼ inches square. And to make a pillow, you could quilt this as a mini quilt. You could put a backing and a batting and quilt it, and that will give it some really fun texture. But I'm not even going to bother quilting this because I want it to be a quick and easy project. But what I do want to do is I do want to cover up the back side because it has all the raw edges, and I think if they're just left like that, then if I am switching out the pillow or I have to wash it or something, then that might not wear and tear really well. And so I just want to put something on the back to kind of protect the seam allowances and help it last longer. So I have just this cream colored fabric. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this that is 13¼ inches square, just the exact same size, and I'm just going to put that on the back to line the pieced part of the pillow. So it's not the back of the pillow, it's still going to be on the inside, but it's just on the back of this pieced part. And then we need to make the back of the pillow. So this is going to be a super simple pillow. I'm not putting a zipper in it or buttons or anything to hold it. I'm just going to have a flap closure. So to do that, you might need to do a tiny bit of math to figure out what size you want your pieces to be, but don't worry, it's not really difficult. You just want to make sure that you have two pieces and they are approximately 2/3 of your pillow size. So because this one's 13¼ I'm thinking 8 inches is probably going to be a good size. But 8 inches, I want to add 1/2 to 1 inch. So I'll add 1 inch for the hem. So you can add more or less for your hem depending on how big you want to hem, but you're going to have, so I'm going to cut two pieces that are 13¼ by 9 inches, and you're going to see these pieces are going to be the half. So I'm going to cut those out of this fabric. I have more of this blue fabric that I used for the border, but of course you can be fun and go with something totally different on the back. It's totally up to you. Just use what you have on hand. So I'm cutting two pieces that are 13¼ by 9 inches, and then you can see what I do with them. So the two pieces we have for the back, we're going to finish one of the edges with a simple hem. So the way we do that is we just fold it over about 1/2 inch and press, and then fold over another 1/2 inch and press that, and then we can just stitch along the edge of that press, and there we have a nice hem. Now, other than the 13¼ which is the size of the pillow, the other measurements are kind of flexible. So if you wanted to do a smaller hem, you could do fold over 1/4 inch and press, or you could do a larger hem, you could fold over 1 inch and press. It's up to you, but you will just need to adjust for those measurements when you're cutting your piece. You can't cut your piece based on 1/4 inch and then fold 1 inch and have it work out. And the measurement for the width of this piece that you need, that's also kind of flexible. If you had just a bit of fabric and you needed to make the overlap a bit smaller, that will probably be fine too. But once our 2 pieces are hemmed, we're going to put together our pillow. Now that all our pieces are done, we're just ready for the final assembly. So the first thing we're going to lay out, we're going to put on the bottom, is our lining. So this is our lining piece that matches the size of our piece part. And this piece that I have obviously is reversible. It's a solid. If you had a print, you would want to put the pretty side down, because then we're going to put our pillow front. So these would be wrong sides together. Now, if you did it the wrong way, that's not the end of the world. That just means that the inside of your pillow will look pretty if you put the print side down. And now we have these 2 pieces. We're going to put those right side with the piece part, and you can see how they overlap. So here is so here's one piece, there's the other side. So you can see they're both right sides together with this pillow front, and they overlap. So now we're just going to sew all the way around the edge. So I'm going to want to lay this carefully on the table, and I'm going to put pins around to hold it. And you can see when we sew all the way around the edge, then this is going to be the opening that we use to get our pillow form into. I've carefully pinned all the way around the edge. If you prefer little clips, then for sure you can use clips here if you prefer. And now I'm going to sew it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to sew all the way around with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And that is a little bit bigger than we use with quilting and piecing, but that is going to help the pillow be really strong and secure. Now I sewed all the way around, and at where I started and stopped, I just overlapped my stitching by a couple of inches just to secure it. Now on the corners, I'm just going to trim a little bit off the corners, and not too much. You don't even need to go all the way down to the stitching, but I'm just going to trim a bit to help take away some of the bulk in the corners. And then I'm going to turn it right side out. And so we can see here's our opening from where the 2 pieces overlapped. So we will use that to turn it right side out, and be sure to poke out the corners. You can use a chopstick or something to help get the corners nice and flat. So there is our pillow cover, and we can see if we peek in the back, there is the lining fabric. So that if we had a fun print, then that would make the inside of the fabric all fun. But I'm just going to get my pillow form, and I can put this in here. So there's your finished pillow, and what a nice way to use an odd block that was left over. For more quilting tutorials and ideas, be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my website, epidastudio.com.